What's up, everybody? Jay here with Jay's Backyard Cooking, and today we're putting a Thor's hammer in the barrel.
Oh, Thor, mighty god of thunder.
Let's get into it. All right, just a real quick setup. One other thing I will let you know is it's approximately about 4 o'clock in the afternoon right now on a Friday. I don't plan on actually turning on the fire till about as late as possible, 11, maybe 12. That way I can just let it go all night long. One thing that I will do though this time is I'm gonna put an aluminum pot in there with apple cider vinegar and water, and then hopefully that steam that it's gonna create while it's in there is gonna help keep the meat moist. So we'll see how it goes. The last part of this cook is gonna be in the Dutch oven. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. First time ever trying the Thor's hammer. Wish me luck. That's right, folks. You heard it right. I'm going to attempt to hang a Thor's hammer in the barrel. In order for that to happen, if you saw my beef ribs hang in the barrel, I drilled holes through the bone. The problem with this one is the bone is pretty thick, so I'm gonna have to attempt to go in at angles on either end to be able to hang 2 hooks through there. The first thing we're gonna do is start with the smaller drill bit and hopefully go in at an angle. Again, I left the packaging on, just personal preference. That worked pretty quick. Let's try this side at a different angle. All right, and then we'll switch over to a bigger bit. Follow that same hole all the way through this side. Let's make sure the hook, yep, goes through pretty quick, pretty easy. Flip it over on this side, same deal. All the way through. Make sure that hook, that's perfect. That's what we want right there. And onto my pan. I have a little stain here of tomato paste. That's not gonna bother anything. If you see, it already comes with butcher's twine on there to keep it held together once it starts to heat up. We're not gonna do much to this. We're gonna pat it down with some paper towels and do it JBC style. Salt, pepper, garlic. Forgot to mention, I am going to use a binder on this one, the W sauce. Just get some poured on there. Get it rubbed in. Flip it over. And then with the seasoning on this, I'm going to go pretty heavy because it is a big chunk of meat. It's going to be very hard to over season it. Let's get the hooks on either side. Again, just like the rib, this is what we were shooting for. This is gonna be perfect. We'll stand this up one last time. We'll get some seasoning on that tip there. The prep on this was a lot easier than what I thought. I thought the bone was gonna give me a little bit more hell than what it did, but we're good to go. Like I said, right now it's 4:15. You saw me get the barrel ready. I don't plan on putting this in till hopefully around midnight. If not midnight, probably 11:30. But my plan is Put it in the barrel as late as possible. Let it go overnight with that apple cider vinegar in there, hoping by 7 o'clock when I wake up, it'll be time to wrap. But instead of wrapping, I'm gonna throw it into the Dutch oven and finish it out that way. Hopefully it comes out tender. Hopefully we have some good meals out of it. But in the meantime, I'm gonna put it back in this pan here. I'm gonna get it wrapped up as tight as I can with foil paper, put it back in the refrigerator so that this meat can really soak up that seasoning. Oh, one other thing I will mention before we break. My wife decided to wash my old microphone. Figured it was dirty already. Threw it in the washer. So I'm trying out some new ones here. Hopefully you can hear me fine. Hopefully if I come into any audio technicalities, I'll be able to fix them. But wish me luck. All right, it's about 11:15 p.m. I'm gonna go ahead and get the fire started. I've already taken the Thor hammer out. I'm gonna let it sit out here and rest for a little bit. So it's kind of chilly out here. I'm more than positive I'm gonna be okay letting this go overnight. We'll let that go for 15 minutes and then we'll be right back out. All right, it's been about 15 minutes. I'm gonna have to put this pan down there in the bottom somewhere. But first, let's dump the charcoal down in there. And then using my glove, I'm just gonna put this to one side. I will show you in a little bit. Get the rebar in. It's basically what I did is just put it to one side right there. Get that closed up immediately, and we'll go in with the Thor hammer right now. There we go. All right, just like that. You've seen plenty of videos of me setting up the barrel. I wasn't gonna bore you with all that, so just bits and pieces here and there. But it's about 11:45 now. I'm going to bed. We'll see you in the morning. And we are back. A little word of wisdom is check the weight on the chunk of meat that you're putting in the barrel. It was 11:45 last night when I finally hung Thor's hammer.
Oh, Thor, mighty god of thunder.
It is currently 4:45. Thermopro pin is reading 177. The barrel is showing 272 as far as how hot it's running. I know it's really foggy outside. I think it's probably kind of chilly. And then I know I said I was gonna finish it off in the Dutch oven, but that's not gonna happen. I don't have any bone broth. I don't have anything that I can put in the Dutch oven to be able to finish it off that way. So butcher paper, brisket style is how we're going. I'm not gonna do too much talking outside just because it's so early. I'm trying to be respectful to the neighbors, but I'm gonna take you outside. I'm gonna wrap it just as quick as I can. Again, I wasn't expecting to have to wrap it, so I'm not set up out there, but we're gonna make do. Beautiful color. To take the thermometer out. Let's get these hooks out. And then just wrap it as best you can. And we'll get the pin and shove it right back in. Put the grate in. And put it back in. Remember to put the rebar back in and use it for the air control. All right, we got that wrapped. Like I said, I wasn't gonna do too much talking outside just out of respect for the neighbors. Didn't want to wake everybody up. But we got it wrapped. The temperature probe slid right in. I think we're gonna be okay. Now we're just gonna set the alarm to go off at 2:03, 2:02, somewhere around there. And then once that comes up to temperature, I'll pull it and put it in the cooler. All right, it is 8:15 in the morning. So right about 8 hours what it took. Got my cooler ready. I'm gonna take the rebar out. And then from there, we're just gonna transfer it over to the cooler. Very careful of the juice. Get you a shot. I had the aluminum pan in there almost full. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but you can see the bottom on one side. So overall pretty good cook. Now I could lie to you and tell you that everything went perfect, but that's not what my channel's about. I think my biggest fail was one, not making sure that I had bone broth or buying it so that I could braise it the way I had planned. And two, not checking the weight on it. I have no idea why. I just thought it was gonna cook as long as the brisket did, 12 hours, 13 hours. 8 hours about what it took. Finally got it in about 11:45 last night. Set my ThermoPro right next to my bed. And shortly after 4 o'clock, it went off. I had the temperature set at 175. So what is that, 4 hours basically of just hanging, and then basically another 4 hours of in the wrap to come up to 202. So now it's in the cooler. We'll get it rested for an hour, maybe 2, maybe even 3, I'm not sure yet, but we'll come back with the final results. Get it unwrapped. Juice poured over it. It smells phenomenal. All right, I'm gonna get my wife to help me real quick off camera. All right, I just needed her to cut these strings off for me, the butcher's twine. We're not gonna need those anymore. To get this stood up. It's trying to pull away from the bone now. I don't think it's gonna stay up anymore, so we'll give up on that in a hurry. Let's give her a taste. You see? Pulling right off. Basically what we're gonna have here is pulled beef. It not only looks phenomenal, but it tastes even better. Wow, this is amazing. You wanna taste it? Let me see if it'll pull. Clean breakaway from the bone. So there you have it, folks. Another successful cook. Was I worried? Sure. Was I really worried? Not really. But this is one that's going to be a redo. I'm not going to change anything about it other than maybe trying it the way I originally set out to do, which was braising at the finish. But this is amazing. We have planned to eat these in taco style, maybe a little bit of potato salad on the side. If you like what you saw here, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and comment. Anything helps. You know, folks, this weekend's cook reminded me of something bigger than barbecue. When I set out to conquer Thor's hammer, the mighty god of thunder, or the beef shank, as some call it, I thought I had it all figured out. A plan, a process, and a finish line. Smoke it, braise it, done. But life didn't care about my plan. I hung it almost around midnight, and 4 hours into the morning, that Thermopro alarm went off and reality hit me hard. No bone broth for the braise. No safety net. And left with a decision to make while half asleep. And that's the thing about life. Most of the real tests don't show up when you're ready. They show up in the dark. When you're tired, unsure, and working with less than you thought you needed. You can panic. You can quit. Or you can adapt. I wrapped that hammer in butcher paper, trusted what I knew, and kept moving forward. No shortcuts. No excuses. Just faith in the process and the willingness to adjust, as a backyard pitmaster should. In the end, it didn't just turn out good. It turned out better than I ever imagined. And that's the lesson. Sometimes the moments that feel like setbacks are actually the turning points. When you stop fighting the unexpected and start working through it, you come out stronger, wiser, and maybe even a little bit more proud of yourself. I got 2 thumbs up from the wife, and that told me everything I needed to know. This was a win. So until next time, keep the grills hot and the seasoning simple. I'm going to take a nap.